What's going on, beautiful people? Come hither, come hither, come hither, come hither. Welcome to our very first I Read It on Reddit. Listen, I have been perusing through the BL internet, and it is a few things that have piqued my interest that I wanted to come here and chat with my fellow BL babes out there because dating in these streets seem to be very interesting. Whether it's good or bad, I feel that you learn a lesson with every experience you encounter with a person. We have a lot to chat about. And then also, to a level, it's a bit of a, how should we say, chicanery that has been going on in these BL streets. And let me tell you, boo, you BL babes out there don't miss a beat. And let me tell you something, y'all with the shit. Like y'all deliver that smoke when need to be and protect those that you really love. But also, we are going to talk about how we need to deal with other views on things that well, shall I say, on BL series and couples that we like that some people may not like. I mean, we are all here to share opinion on a topic and series that we love. I feel that we should be very open minded to all opinions. As long as we respecting each other, it's like, what's going on? So we are going to talk about the messy, and also how we can bring love and light to this beautiful universe that we have created that just keeps blossoming as the years go by, as the series drop, and as the BL love, the real love that people share with us. Like, come on, let's get into it. Let's hop on into this intro.
I'm feeling it. My bones telling me it's right. It's so different. But when you take me to the light, it's like a cigarette. And I'm burning at your lips. Start so innocent. Then you kick it up, and now I want to show you all what you deserve. And know we got so much to learn.
If you don't know, now you know. Welcome back to hashtag J Podcast. And it is your podcast with all the BL drama series, chitter chatter, and all the BL man why you can take. We also going to be hitting on real BL couples and also the drama, the nitty gritty that's going on behind the scenes of our favorite series and our favorite BL actors. We going to be talking about it. Yes, we gonna get a little messy. It's about time. 'Tis the season to be a little goddamn messy. And I don't mind it. We're gonna be messy within reason. We're gonna be messy with trying to be fair. Okay? But we also gonna spread love and light throughout the process. So, like I told you, I have been perusing through the BL internet. And I ended up on Reddit, but I have been perusing because, and this is something that I've been wanting to bring to the table with my channel. And I told you it's going to be more. So I fell on a few stories that I want to share with you guys because I want to pick your brain on what is going on, especially out here in the dating streets. Because from what I've been told and what I've seen, dating is hard. And I feel that it's relatively more harder now, but I think we say that with every generation. Like dating is harder than when it was versus your days. I guess that's like something that is always said, but I think feel more like now because you have social media, you have so many other things to instill a level of insecurities that people never had to deal with before the internet. But let's get into the first story because this story really piqued my interest. So, this story was called Sniffer's Disaster. I invited a bi DL jock over from Sniffies. Did I call it Sniffers? It's Sniffy's Disaster. You hear me? It's that rice wine, guys. I'm sipping on that rice wine. All right, let's get back to it. I invited a bi DL Jock over from Sniffy's last night. The guy looked cute in his pictures. When he got here, it was obvious the pics were old. Very old. Instead of 28 years old, a nearly 50-year-old was sitting on my couch. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. He wasn't hideous, so I sat down and tried to get into it. Couldn't do it. I went to the bathroom to work out how I was going to get this guy out of my house. I finally decided honesty was best. I came out and told him I wasn't feeling it. He just had to ask why. So I straight up told him that he didn't look like his pics. Luckily, he was nice about it and left politely. Why do these guys think they can get away with this crap? What do guys do if this happens? Oh, what do you guys do if this happens? Is there a way to make sure it doesn't happen again? Now, baby, baby. Okay, I can understand, which I don't understand, but I can understand if you did like 2 or 3 years, give or take. Like if you are trying to appeal to a certain type of crowd, which this is gonna be another story I'm gonna talk about, but it's gonna make sense why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay, like if you in your early 30s and you're trying to appeal to someone in their 20s and you have to, let's say, shuffle a few years your age, I would try to keep it under 5 years, roughly like 2 or 3. And yeah, because baby, 50 and 28, that's too many decades apart. Too many. Too many decades. Like, you're bugging. And you were nice to let him in your house to even be sitting on your couch. Because from the time I personally would have saw him, I'm not gonna even lie to you. I probably wouldn't even approach them. I probably would have just ghosted him because I would have been so upset that you tried me, you know? But let's think of it if you're trying to bring good karma in your life, and you're not trying to be an asshole. I would have honestly deaded the whole situation and nipped it in the bud from the beginning that, I would have hit him with the thank you for coming out. I was really looking forward to us hanging out. But I can see that you lied about your age. And to a point, I'm just not into what you're trying to put out there. And he has no other choice but to respect it because he lied. Know what I mean? And you have to be careful. Luckily, in this situation, he was nice about it and he just gracefully got his happy ass up out his house. But imagine how that would have turned out if it would have ended up differently. So in 2024, we just gonna keep it above. If you are in your 50s, I think you need to go for people who's in your 50s or people who are not in your 50s but are into what you're into. Like you're that type of flavor. I've never been a fan of people opposing their wants and needs on people who don't want and need what they trying to put out there. That story just it kind of bugged me out because in my mind I'm like, what was his reaction when he saw him? Because I know in his mind he's thinking, damn, I'm about to see this fine thing. And you can tell that the writer was anticipating from the pictures. And he's it sounds like whoever this gentleman is, he's aging gracefully. It's just that the person is just not into men his age. And by the way, drop a comment below. I want to hear how would you have handled a hookup or a date and the person lied about their age by a decade or more? How would you react to that situation? Hmm. So the next stories we're gonna get into is Is there a point left in my relationship? Now, this one is a fairly a little bit of a read, but I feel like this should be discussed. Especially, I feel that a few of us can relate. So we're going to hop on into this read. I feel like my relationship is coming to an end. I have been with my partner for almost 5 years now. We were open from day one. Because his sex drive is much higher than mine. He's also bi and sometimes meet women, which isn't a need I couldn't provide. I was also fine with it because it was just sex. And it was me he came back to, me that he stayed with. We hit it off almost immediately because I'm a pleaser and he loves to be pleased. I don't want to get into all my childhood trauma or his, but that's basically how we are. Now that's a red flag. Y'all bonded off of your pain, but not in a way of healing from it. You bonded off of it as far as putting band-aids on it or just not really dealing with the issue. So it's like it sounds like they mask each other's trauma or just they basically gave each other what they each needed to coddle a feel that needs to be taken out, pulling a weed. It sounds like it's issues that need to be dealt with, handled, and no longer a factor in a relationship. It sounds like they both need work so far, and I've only read 2 paragraphs. But let's get into it. Recently, he's been meeting a lot more guys, a lot more regularly, and doing much more than just having sex with them. Going out for dinner with a hookup. I've started a new job and don't have much free time and have been pretty miserable because we don't spend much time together. I needed medication for the first few months because I had nonstop anxiety attacks and couldn't sleep because I hated being apart for so long. He, however, seems to be having the time of his life. It feels like I don't work enough for his liking. Ooh, sounds like he's dependent on him. If being apart causes you anxiety attacks and you can't sleep, that's intense. Anyway, I've been trying to get better, look after myself, better to make myself more attractive to him, and be more sexual in general. However, I hit a wall. He gets annoyed when I try to initiate sex and acts like it's a chore when we do have sex. Baby, that is the deal breaker. You I will say this and I will literally scream this. Master the art of loving on yourself. Because when you love on yourself, you possess a certain type of power that people will try to fuck with, but they can't break it down. You know what I mean? Now, when somebody is sexing you in a manner like it's on a to do list, you need to, it's either depending on the shit. If you're married, I would suggest you go to therapy, try to talk about it. If you guys talking about it doesn't work, go to therapy. Try all the steps you need to do to show that you're for this marriage and you're in it, depending on where your mind is with it. If it's something you want to hold on to and keep to, do all the methods, do what you do to keep your marriage because this is something that could be fixed. But when it's in a relationship, like you do the same. If it's a relationship you're worth keeping, and you want to continue seeing this relationship through, you got to talk about it. 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 You got to, cause I be damned if somebody gonna be hunching on me like it's a chore. Hmm. Okay, let's get on back into it. He says things like he's unwell and doesn't want to have sex with anyone right now. Fast forward the next morning, and he had a random guy from Grinder round the second I leave for work. He says I'm reading into things that aren't there and just being insecure, but I am. He sounds like a gaslighter. He's gaslighting the shit out of you. There is a lot of smoke screens. Baby is so many mirages. It's like he's trying to pull your ass into Narnia so bad that you don't see reality and everything in front of you. Okay? That it is so many red flags in this story. This relationship is super fucking toxic. It sounds toxic. It sounds messy and it just sounds a little bit sickening. And my heart goes out to the writer because to deal with that, and it sounds like the writer to a point is a more soft, shy, loving person, but also have their issues too that they need to work on, especially to be in a relationship with this person for 5 years. It sounds like this person is very comfortable to do fuck shit. Very comfortable. So he said, I feel like I'm always bringing up the conversation of whether or not we should break up. He always say we shouldn't unless it's what I want. But even then, he wouldn't want to. But he also tells me things like if we did break up, he probably wouldn't care. And it would take over a year before he even noticed I was gone. But then one of his regular hookups doesn't speak to him for a week. And he mentions how he misses that person. Like, am I supposed to be taking a hint from that? I try to bring it up and just get shut down about being insecure. He keeps telling me to go back on antidepressants because I'm more bearable like that. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Who is this? I want to fight him. This is a bestie tag in moment. Who is he? How dare you? What in the but antidepressants turn me into a zombie. I just exist. I have no desire to do anything and am basically just a servant with no will of his own. I feel like that's all he wants from me, a safety net, something he has just in case there's nothing else available. The best reassurance he gives me is that he enjoys doing things like going to IKEA and just shopping with me. Those are friend activities. Having a partner for that seems insane to me. Anytime I try to speak to him about any of this, he gets very cold and either says nothing or just okay. I feel like his roommate instead of his partner. I don't want a roommate. Edit. I currently want to break up with him, but also don't want to leave him. Baby, it sounds like you are convenience. You are a relationship of convenience for him. Whatever it's something that you're providing him that he needs. And the crazy thing about relationships like this, and this is where they get real messy and to a level dangerous to the person who wants to stay committed and they're about the person. When you deal with fuck faces like that, when they're out dating and they find the person that they feel are the one and that they want to spend their life with, they will drop you like a hot sack of potatoes with no warning sometimes. They will literally just leave, ghost your ass, and show that person all the attention in the world while you spent time investing into them and them using you as a convenience. I feel like the person, his boyfriend, can't be alone, and he can't be alone either. And I feel like he needs to work on loving himself. And when he builds that power within himself, and you can tolerate being with yourself, and also work on being in groups and being around people that share the same interests as you and that are on the same vibe as you. So therefore you can find the best boyfriend to attract for you because he fucks with the way you move. You can relate. And sometimes, granted, opposites can attract. But the only way opposites can attract is if you respect each other's differences and willing to be open to new things to a point, and just ultimately, like I said, respecting each other's differences. It seems like Homeboy is very comfortable with him, and he's just using him as a safety net until he finds that person that can tolerate his ass and that he feels is the one. And I hate hearing stories like this because I feel like it's very trashy. It's very trashy of a person to use a person and have them thinking that they want to be with them, even though they know they don't want to be with them, just because they don't want to be alone, because they want to have someone to go home to. But at the end of the day, you're not even treating that person like a person. You're not even treating that person in the manner that they should be treated and showing them affection that they should be shown. So, what the hell are you even doing? It's like, what are we doing? Therapy. I feel like therapy should be free. Therapy should really be free because there's a lot of people and a lot of doctors that are missing a few patients. To this writer, my heart goes out to you, and I am hoping that you found some resolution in this situation. We're going to take to a few of these comments. We're going to see what people had to say. Someone said, there are so many red flags in here that I lost count. He seems so much more interested in his hookups than you. Am I right that you are not comfortable being single? And that's why you are afraid to be alone. Him saying he wouldn't notice you gone for a year is ridiculous. You let him disrespect you because you're acting desperate and he knows he can walk all over you. And that is true. I'm not gonna lie, the delivery was some tough. It wasn't no fluff. It's what's that term? Tough love. This this person administered some tough love that needed to be administered. You have people, especially guys, that can weave out desperate people and they will use you till there's no more of using you. Do you hear me? And then when they find the person that they're willing to put the work into, get to know and show the love that you were expecting, that you felt that you deserved, that you technically, let's just keep it about, you worked hard for. Somebody else reaps the benefits of it. So the writer responded, exactly my problem. I feel like some space would do us some good, but I feel like having space is basically breaking up. He seems to think if I left here even a day, I'd come running back immediately. And I don't think I would. I probably realize he doesn't provide enough to be worth missing. I had to call the Samaritans this week because I was really down. After the call ended, I realized I didn't mention him once. So I know I have problems right now that he's not the cause of, but also isn't helping to resolve any. It's just right now why I'm feeling like this feels like a bad time to make such drastic decisions. Another person says, I am so sorry about your experience. I tell you from experience, you should never work on yourself to be more attractive to someone else. You should do it for you, yourself, and you. As you describe him, he is not so invested in you and does not seem much to care about your feelings. Time to move on and find happiness. And he do. He do. He just really needs to move on. And anybody who can relate to this story, let me tell you something. Love on yourself. And I'm not saying it in a manner to just come off real harsh. Learn to love on yourself. If you don't know how, you can look it up. You can ask a friend or a family member that has a level of confidence that you admire. So you can ask them, like, how do you do it? Like, how do you manage to project so much confidence and love on yourself? I say do the research to figure out how you navigate on loving on yourself and how you see the amazing qualities about yourself. And let me tell you something, that adventure is amazing because you learn new things about yourself and then you learn new interests that you enjoy within your life. So, the adventure of loving on yourself is an adventure I feel that everybody should be experiencing because you weave out the type of dudes you willing to deal with and what you're not really willing to deal with once you know yourself because you know what you can deal with and you know what you can't deal with. And it seemed like this reader is just a bit confused and dealing with the emotions of life. Life is lifing, and he's really trying to hold on. But baby, you gotta let go of that boyfriend. That boyfriend is not for you. He's for the streets. He sound like he's for the streets. That sound like some real community D. He's for the streets. He's not for you. He's for the streets. So let him be for the streets. Put him out there for the streets, and you take care of you. Let's hop on into the next story. So this next Reddit story is called Need Some Advice. I've been with my boyfriend for a year next month, and I believe we've reached a point where we both love and care for each other. That it only seems fitting to share a space together. Although no decision has been made, we have talked about it a few times. It's more so of the possibility because of unexpected changes, primarily in his life where he'll need a place to stay until he can get back on his feet. I want to do everything that I can to help him. This has been making me think back on my last relationship, where it quickly ended because of the same kind of situation. Moved in too quickly, also realized my ex was a manipulator. My boyfriend is completely 360 from my ex, thankfully. I just don't want to risk potential strain on our relationship. So yeah, really need some advice on how to know if I am prepared for that next step and also what do I need to prepare myself for? Okay. So I'm gonna share a little bit of my experience. So me and my fiance, I would not say it was a year that we started living together. It was like a couple of months. Um, it depends, honestly, on people. Like you can be in a relationship for 2 to 3 years, decide to move in together, and once y'all move in, it's a damn disaster. So I would say time to a point doesn't really matter. It's like honestly, once you start living with each other, it's like opening up Pandora's box because it's like you're introducing that person into personal things that you do behind closed doors that people don't see that you do at home. And it's natural reaction. It's not something to a point that you can always control because you will have moments where you completely forget that you live with somebody in your mind, you at home, so you get comfortable. So it depends. So to this person, I would have honestly say to this person, you're taking a risk whether you do it now or do it 2 or 3 years from now. It's a risk either way, but just be open to who he is as a person and not really focus on comparing him to your ex because that's what it sounds like. Sounds like the person is kind of comparing the new situation to an old situation as far as like executing them living with each other. And I feel like kind of sort of where they feel that way is because it sounds like the boyfriend is not really completely on his feet. So I feel like honestly to kind of put a level of security on it, don't bring it up until he's consistently on his feet. And then you invite him. You execute the plan cuz I think that may be the situation. The fact that he's on and off again on his feet, like he doesn't mind helping him and being there. But as far as like cohabitating on that notion, kind of sounds like it could be a reason for it's just my thoughts off of the story. But that's what it sounds like. I mean, once he's stable and grounded, I guess that would be. But either way, like I say, it's a slippery slope. I just thank God that me and my hubby like meshed. But don't get me wrong, we clash. And we clash so much in the beginning. In the beginning, moving with your significant other, I don't, for some people, if it was like spectacular and y'all didn't argue a lot in the beginning, kudos to you. But me and my hubba dub, we had our good moments and we had our bad. And you learn new things about yourself, and it's an experience. But it's an experience that I will do over again with my hubba dub. You know, the same way, same order, going through the same hell because you learn, I think, like I said, you learn things about yourself with every experience in your life. You learn things whether it's good or bad. And when you hear the bad, you learn how to deal with hearing the bad in the future. Because at first, when you live in together and you hear things about yourself, you just like, what the fuck? What did you just say? Are you like, but after a while, you just realize, like, oh, okay. All right. Okay. Especially when you have some vices with that person and you want them to be more understanding to what you're saying because you to a level you want change. You want a peace of mind, but that one little thing is like ticking your ass off. But you have to acknowledge that there may be some qualities about your ass that will tick that fucking person off too. So I feel like in this post, if you can relate, if what you're asking for, you have to be willing to give as well. So if you are moving in with your significant other, to any of my viewers who is considering the idea or in the process of, I feel that what you want, you have to give as well. So if you want your significant other to be more open, reactive to certain things that may irritate you, whether it be not having the laundry on the floor, putting it in the laundry basket, or putting the dishes in the dishwasher, whatever may come to mind. Fabric softener underneath the closet instead of on the upper closet. So whatever it may be, you have to be open to the fact that you may be fucking annoying too and may have some pet peeves that your partner is going to want to address. So what you want, you got to give to. It's a give and take. It's a learning process because some things you just not gonna like to hear about yourself. But it is what it is. So I'm wishing this couple love and light. This is actually like a nice, like fluff type of story for advice. It was like, because the other two was just like, they wasn't that heavy. Because starting off with Reddit on Reddit, I wanted to start off a little light. I ain't want to bring all the heavy because we gonna get messy. But I just wanted to bring it light. I wanted to bring it light to you guys because some things I have read, like my heart goes out to people. Like people are cruel, and dating is just so cruel. It's like why are we lying? Like why are we lying? I feel like now to lie about your age, to lie about sexual shit that you were into, no matter how freaking freaking nasty it may be. You have the power of the internet, meaning you will equally find somebody who's into the freaky deaky nasty shit that you are into, whether they're in your age group, out your age group, but you can find somebody that is willing to accept the vibe that you putting out there. So there's no reason for you to lie. We are so much connected now. We are so much connected now. There's just really no reason. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't understand it, but hopefully my advice can help someone, especially if you can relate to these stories. I feel like a lot of people can relate to these stories, especially like in your early 20s. I can relate to a little bit, to the story with the toxic relationship. It's certain red flags that honestly, when you're in it, and I don't ever want people to feel like you're stupid for being with somebody because when you are in love and when you in situations, you don't see what outside people see. I mean, Eve said it best. Love is blind and it will take over your mind. What you think is love is truly not. It's truly not. You need to elevate and find. She it is. It's very blinding, you know? You really don't see. A lot of people don't see these red flags where you have friends and maybe family members that are in these relationships and you're just like, I could never. And bitch, it could be you, especially if that D game is tight. And if his manipulation and gaslighting is top tier, you can be you can be like that. You can be like that. It's possible. So, like I said, we don't judge over here. We're not judging you. Never. Because it's possible for anybody. Anybody can be duped. Anybody can be duped. Anybody can be a one fucked up. Okay? Ooh. Sending love and light to the sad stories. And I'm hoping you guys find solace and just find a level of self love and just do the self work. I'm telling you, self work will help you navigate through these troubled times that you have. And you guys are going to have to take risks, especially the last story. Especially the last story. You're going to have to take risks. You're going to have to truly just, you know what? Fuck it. You know, it was a time, it was a relationship, and it is. So, to the writer, is there any point left in my relationship? We are just hoping you find solace and self love and hone into your power of loving on you and knowing your boundaries and knowing your worth and knowing what you're willing to deal with. And take from this relationship the capability you have to love someone. You know the lengths and where you will go to love someone. Now find somebody who's worth you going them lengths for. Okay? Now let's hop on into this next story. Now, this next story, yeah, baby. I feel like 2024 literally started to be the year of fuck shit. But fuck shit in like a more vindicating, truthful type of way. Like people showing their true colors and then we finding out about people's true colors. If you live in the States, you know, like Hollywood has been on fire. Any and everything from your mama and then some has been coming out in these streets and it has been on fire. Some news we've been loving and enjoying, and some news we kind of already knew. We kind of already found that out. Woo! But in the BL streets, y'all got some mess too. Y'all messes. So far, it's just not as bad, but it's a few things that I'm still further looking into before I discuss on this channel, especially about a few SA allegations. Hopefully, not on a few of our fellow actors, but Hollywood and just being in that industry is just nowadays seeming real messy. And God forbid if me and my hubba-dub had some kids, I don't think I would let my child be an actor. I would literally be tied to their hip. You can call me Backpack from Dora the Explorer. My child be like, backpack, backpack. And I would be right the hell there. Cause I be damn. I be damn. It's mm-mm. Anyway, let's get into it. This topic has nothing to do with my rant was just about, but it was just me just blowing off some steam. Now, what we gonna get into, baby? What we gonna get into is the Chu Young Woo of it all. I'm hoping that's how you pronounce his name. So Chu Young Woo is an actor from the BL series You Make Me Dance. Honestly, I didn't watch this BL series, but listening to all of this shit got me kind of interested in listening to watching the BL series. So I might take a gander at it. I might check it out. We have Chu Young Woo, an actor, and hold on, before I even continue this, let's shout out to Cafe BL. I first saw the thread on Reddit, but like I further looked into it because it was just a comment on Reddit. So I was just like, let me dig down this rabbit hole just a little bit deeper. But you didn't have to dig too far, it's pretty much surface of it all. But it says Chu Young Woo, an actor known for his debut role in the Korean BL drama You Make Me Dance, recently faced criticism from BL fans. This criticism arose after Chu Young Woo failed to acknowledge his role in the BL drama during his acceptance speech for the Rookie of the Year award at the KBS Drama Awards 2023, held on December 31st, 2023. This wine. I'm just saying, Homeboy started off his year on some type of tip. In his speech, Chu Young Woo only mentioned two television dramas he had starred in, namely School 2021 and Police University. There was no mention whatsoever of You Make Me Dance, which was his first drama that aired in 2021. This surprised and disappointed many BL fans who felt that Chu Young Woo did not appreciate his own work and the fans of the BL drama who had supported him. Fans' disappointment grew further when Chu Young Woo also deleted photos related to his involvement in the BL project from his Instagram account. Due to the increasing criticism, Chu Young Woo even disabled comments on his two latest Instagram posts, which were photos of him receiving the Rookie of the Year award at KBS Drama Awards. This is believed to be done to avoid negative comments from fans. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, they're not lying. He did remove, but it wasn't just them two. It's like he went as far as like a couple of picks from 2023. And then you have a few picks that kind of just stuck out. Like some people slipped through the cracks. I'm be honest with you. So he disabled his comments dating all the way back to last year, what, May 3rd? Like the BL the BL community was not playing. They really came for him. And it does look like he don't have any photos of him being in that BL series. Like you would not have known. You honestly would not have known that he was in that BL series. Like super clean to his Instagram page. It's just mostly photos of him at his photo shoot photos, and him taking a few shots on set on the other two series that he acknowledged when receiving the award. How do we feel about this at hashtag J Podcast? I'm gonna be honest with you. I live in the States, so I don't know how things go in Korea. I'm fully aware when you get into that space, like I said, here in the States, a lot of things are being exposed. But I am fully aware that in certain careers, having a rainbow like quality piece of work is not always received. Now, am I saying what he did was right? Absolutely not. if the BL community, which it seemed it was, and this is what I keep reading, that community supported him and got him to where he is now. So that's where I feel that that rule kind of don't apply to him, because if that community is the community that gained you followers, gain you recognition into your acting capabilities for these other series to see you to play in roles in their series, why not acknowledge that series? But it depends if he told not to bring up that drama. Was he told to expunge that whole series from his catalog of work so he can be seen for further and bigger roles? We don't know. But what I can say is he had to know in the crevices and the orifices of his mind that the community that brought you up will come to bring you down after you do some craziness. That's all I'm going to say. I just feel that he should have had the mask to protect him for the smoke he knew he was going to get. If that community got you to stardom and you receive a damn award and you do not mention the series that basically put you in the place you needed to be in the two series that granted you and awarded you the award that you are carrying today, you on some fuck shit to a point. But like I said, we don't know the ins and outs and how, you know, the K drama world works as far as dealing with actors that's been in BL dramas. I don't know. I can't say. And if you know, a little tea, drop a comment below. And also, I provide my email all the time on these videos. Shoot your girl an email. Shoot me a message on TikTok at hashtag J Podcast. Or you can shoot me a message on Twitter, aka X, at hashtag JPAH. All of this is in our bio. If you got some tea that could add to the tea that we are already sipping, or that you want me to give my honest opinion on, let me know. But back to Chu Young Woo. I feel that it is a lot of like, as time go by and there's more series coming out, and with our favorite couples that you go to love from a few series, or you just naturally love from one series, you kind of want to see them again. It's like Bright Wind. Is it Bright Wind? I think that I think that's it. Is it Bright Wind? The guys from Together. It's so many names. I hope you guys are not holding it to me to remember all of this. But I try my best. But the guys from Together, we know we're not going to see them in another series together. I'm just hoping to God that we do one day. Just one day they just dust the dust off their work and just say, fuck it, we're just gonna throw another BL drama to their ass. But a previous video I shared with you that we're not gonna see that couple again. And it's because these guys really do be pursuing other careers outside of the BL drama space. Like, the BL drama space catapults them to a space where they need to be outletted to other things. And I feel that you should support them even if they're no longer making BL dramas. But with the support, the further support and the continued support that you get from your BL fans, you gotta respect your fans too. So Chu Young Woo,